445 plates on each side.
Guys, welcome in. We are live on YouTube.
Sorry, Jim talk.
That's great. Talking about getting jacked and tan. Everybody loves it. What's up, guys? Welcome into the scope. We're going to talk about first-person shooter games and everything going on. Hang out with you guys for the next hour and a half or so. There's not a ton to talk about, but the stories we have this week are not numerous, but they are quite beefy and girthy. And there's a lot to get into with those. Blue, quit laughing, man. What'd I say? What?
No, I'm laughing because that's what we want to get for the winner. You know.
Yeah, beefy and girthy.
Big and girthy. Beefy and girthy. Exactly.
That's right.
Everyone talks about summer body. We talk about the winter body. You know.
It's almost bulking season. Buff, is it bulking season? Can we call it that?
Yeah, we're getting close to Bulksgiving too here, right around the corner.
That'll be sweet.
I didn't realize how much protein's in turkey, by the way. Just saying.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do because I got these holidays coming up and I've been like sticking to this diet so strict, dude. And like, I don't know. I'm already thinking about, am I gonna cheat? Am I gonna like go hog wild? I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Everyone has a cheat day. Right.
Worst case scenario, you just eat a lot of turkey. I mean, that's still a big win.
My
can't go wrong either way.
My dad always smokes a ham too, so like I can slam the ham.
Do you do like honey baked or just like smoked ham?
He smokes it. Yeah.
That's
man, awesome. And we got I don't know, dude. It's already been tough. I gotta tell you guys this before I forget. Staying on the diet has been so insane, dude. It's been a mental battle, man. Did I tell you last week? Did I tell you, Blue, about the church bringing us food?
Yep. Yeah, all the homemade.
So we've had like since we had our baby, we've had like a meal train from church, and like they just brought over like hot apple crisp and like all this Italian food and homemade garlic breadsticks.
Great for the wife. She needs that for sure.
Yeah, she needs it for recovery and stuff. But I'm just over here like battling internally. I've stuck to it though. I have not. I'm staying true to it. And like I tweeted out today, I was feeling kind of jacked in the gym. I had some good lighting there on the shoulders. So I was like, I hit it with a pick on the Twitter today, down 27. So we're locked in. Locked in.
Solid.
It's crazy. Anyway, guys, I am joined, those beautiful voices you hear behind me, BlueTheRobot and Buffnerd Gaming. What's up, men?
Howdy.
What's going on, everyone?
Man, it's been a weekend. But what have you guys been up to, Blue? What are you playing? I'm in that group chat. I've been seeing the Armor Reforger shenanigans, man. I want to get in on that.
Brother. Yeah, man. It was hilarious. It took us just when you get the boys together like that, it took us a whole hour to get ready to do one mission.
Really?
It was hilarious. It was we finally got everyone set up. We finally got everyone good to go. We were about to leave the base. Riot forgot a radio.
Come on,
like, get on the radio. He's like, I'm trying.
What radio?
You have one? And he checks his inventory. He goes, guys, I don't have a radio. Okay, fine. Turn back around. We go back around. We finally get him a radio. He takes like an extra 15 minutes to figure it out. He gets back. We get into the giant JL TVs. Freaking, just these huge giant machines with one had a 30mm cannon on top, another with a 50 cal, ready to go. There's a giant hill. We go rolling down. I flip because I wasn't paying attention, and these things move like boats because they're super top heavy. So we flip. We try to have the guys push it back over, but we couldn't. A civilian vehicle comes down the hill. And the person on the 50 cal decides, you know what's really funny right now? If I just shoot up the civilian 50 cal or the civilian vehicle coming down, it catches on fire, hits the side of the JLTV. There's a bomb now basically sucked to the side of the JLTV. Our 50 cal gunner is stuck on the top. So he's doing that. And I'm yelling like, you put a bomb next to us. I extinguish two fires because they shot up another one. So then Fry was like, all right, I'm going to go back up the hill, come back around, hit the side of the JLTV, try to flip it. He hits it so hard, he breaks his JLTV. it finally flips back over. We try to go back up the hill. He doesn't have enough. The engine, transmission's all effed up to get up the hill. So we have basically a freaking a centipede of freaking JLTVs. Fry in the front, I'm in the middle, one in the rear, all pushing each other up the hill. We finally get back. We finally get it done. And just when everything's good, I get into another vehicle and I go, "Hey guys, there's no fuel in this." It took about an hour. We finally did it. It was fun, but man, now
Dang it.
I couldn't
What an
stop laughing.
ordeal.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Will that be a video? Will that be a YouTube video at some point?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, good.
100%. It's
All
gonna
right.
be a video. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it all on tape.
I want to relive that moment. That sounds
Yeah.
awesome. Anything else,
Yeah.
or you just been Armor Reforging? I know they announced Arma 4.
Yeah, Armor 4.
What do you think of that?
2027.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
God.
Oh man, dude, it'll be 32 when Armor 4 finally comes out.
Pardon me for not being excited. Oh, that'll be, dude, that's the year I'll turn 40.
You turn 40 when Armor 4 comes out, bro.
Damn.
Oh no, dude.
I'll be 37, I think. Jeez.
Oh yeah, you'll be
Dude.
where I'm at. It's great.
Nice.
You'll love it.
So it's
Dude,
insane. Yeah.
what are we
it's like
talking
14
about? Like,
years between Arma 3 and Arma 4. It's about 14 years now.
Dude, that's wild.
why would they announce that even? Like, what is that?
And it's like
so
it was
far
like
away.
it was during the Bohemian Interactive like orchestral like production that they put on, and just
So
like
random.
5 seconds right before it ends, it just floats across the screen. And it's like, whoa, go back. What was
That's
that for?
how you did
and
it
this is like
now?
they
What?
did it. That's how they announced it. So and then they officially announced it, but yeah, it was
Weird.
funny. So
That's a wild announcement and a
other
very
games,
wild
man,
timeline.
yeah, I don't want to get back to Star Citizen. I played a little bit with Fry a couple weeks ago. I know we tried to get into it, but ever since then I got like hooked. I got the bug again. But
That's cyclical
about
as
it. I know
well.
We'll talk about it. Yeah,
It's
we'll
like,
talk about that too.
comes
Yeah,
around.
that's another game. It's just it comes every couple months. We get excited for it, and then we forget about it until whenever they say they gotta do some more stuff. So
Yeah. How about you, Buff? Were you gaming at all, or is work still just destroying you?
The only thing I played a little bit of DMZ with Justin yesterday, just off stream. That's all I've played in like a week and a half. I also a little bit of that Dragon Ball game, but I haven't had like any time to do anything. I've just been working like 10, 12-hour days. So yeah,
Need me to talk to your
behind
boss.
on the game, right? A little behind on the gaming scene right now.
Buff needs the replacer.
I do. I need the replacer.
Need the replacer. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it. We were talking about it before live, but it's got me feeling pretty nostalgic for COD, and those assholes do it every single year. They get you feeling nostalgic for the game, and that's how they market it, and it works really good on me. I think it works good on a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
But they got their replacer out doing the marketing campaign. It's so funny, man. It's genius. That guy, he's so endearing, man. He's so funny. They did some Barstool Sports stuff where he did like a one bite pizza review like Dave Portnoy does. Like he did one of those, and he like threw the pizza back inside the restaurant and stuff, and then like he was like running the podcast board for him at Barstool Sports, and he just kept turning their voices off and playing jazz music, and like it's so funny. They did like their marketing is genius, man. They did like a live stream where it was like his phone was like on the counter while he was taking a leak or something, and then he started like revealing some, like he was gonna reveal something, and like they just did like a funny live, like a 1-minute live stream with him, and he like looks down at his phone, he's like, oh, and he shuts it off real quick. Just like funny stuff like that, man. The replacer, dude, it gives me back to the launch of Black Ops 3 when I was standing in line at the GameStop, baby. The only time I ever did that.
For Black Ops 3? Oh man.
Yep. Well, I got into playing games a lot in Advanced Warfare. Yeah. And then I was like,
I got Black Ops 3, like brought it home, played it for I think like an hour, and then I returned it. I was like, yeah, I don't know what they did with COD, but
yeah, looking back on it now, it was terrible. but it like has a special place in my heart.
For
'cause it
one
was,
of
like,
your
the
first games, yeah.
first ones I played, yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, it's ass. It had the most predatory microtransactions, dude. That was the tipping point before we went to battle passes, because they had the loot box stat changing weapons. They had like the OP crossbolt pistols that were, and like all the OP guns that were just in supply boxes, and like it was just like you had to buy a ton of them to get them. There were weapons that were only found in random loot boxes. It was so predatory, man. It was so bad. If you don't remember that, the loot boxes were terrible. They got me at first in Advanced Warfare. It was the same, right? Like that's the first one where there were loot boxes and you get weapon variants from loot boxes, and I was like, this is awesome. I was single and working my federal job at the time, so I was just buying loot boxes like a bastard. Like I didn't even think about how bad it was. And then Black Ops 3, and I was like, wait a minute, this is terrible. And then it was kind of the tipping point when everybody got mad and it went to battle passes after that, after Fortnite and stuff. But
I remember like COD 4 remastered. They had like the loot box type system, and I was like, it's basically, it was gambling. You're just like spending money hoping you get like the rare stuff to get like the new weapon or whatever.
yeah, and there was I think back in the day, like Drifter or somebody did some research and videos on and talked to a bunch of different people, and like the average amount of money you had to spend to pull an epic weapon
it's crazy.
was almost like $1,000 sometimes. Like people were spending thousands of dollars to get a gun. Like
so dumb.
It was bad. I bet they made so much money. I bet
for sure.
So bad. But anyways, Black Ops 6 is going to be dropping this week, Thursday night where I'm at. I think it drops Thursday midnight Eastern time. So I'm a couple hours ahead, or an hour ahead, or 2 hours ahead.
You're an hour ahead.
I'm an hour ahead. But for some reason it's 10 o'clock. So maybe it's not midnight. Maybe it's 11 Eastern. Then because I know it's 10 o'clock where I'm at on PC. This when it drops, and god damn it, I'm gonna play it. I just have too much fun in search, man. I have too much fun in search. Where I'm really torn is do we play core? Do I try core again in this one, or do I just
try it and just see how it differs from older, or I guess the past Halo, Jesus, Call of Duty titles. Jesus,
you'll get it.
I had like 3 game names in my head.
One of those ones.
Use your words.
One of those.
Use your words.
I was gonna say Modern Warfare. I was gonna say Halo because I saw PJSO put Halo in the chat.
Yeah. But again, this is another one, and like I always am tempted. I think about it often. Like, what if I did either a Call of Duty channel or Call of Duty content playing search? Because we have some insane games like in Search and Destroy. Like I think you could
just straight up search only.
I can make some good content on YouTube. There's not a ton of hardcore search and destroy content on YouTube, and I think there's probably a fair amount of people that play it. But then I thought this year there's going to be a theater mode. So like,
did they confirm that? That's cool.
Yeah. So if you have a crazy game and we're making a YouTube video, you could do like after the fact, like camera moves, different angles and shit.
I can't wait to see like old school edits back from like Black Ops 2 days of just all those trick shotters and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that was I think like, what was it? Was it Black Ops 1 or it was Black Ops 1.
Black Ops 1 had it.
Yeah, it was when I was in college. I remember like the theater mode was so cool. I dropped like a 35 kill streak game or something, and it just had that saved, and you would save like these crazy throwing knife grenade kit, like so
across
fun.
the map.
Just go in and free cam and look at like the angle. It's so fun. It's really a shame they haven't made that a staple of every COD game, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. I was like, I feel like I could start a channel with this and make some insane S&D edits with that and have some awesome games and stuff. But then it's like the next game probably won't have it. And then it's like that's what happens with like DMZ. There was like a whole genre of DMZ YouTube that popped up out of that, and then they just killed it. So that's like the brutal part about Call of Duty is like sometimes they have features and stuff that are really insane, and then the next year it's just poof, gone. So like if you started making really cool S&D videos, like that shit won't be there next time, more than likely. So I don't know. I don't know if it will be or not, but it's tough to bank on stuff like that. But I was just thinking in my head about how sick you can make videos with like a theater mode. But we had the
Mhm.
same thing. My buddy did Hydra, who I still play with now. We would always go for tomahawk kills across the map, like off
That's what.
spawn.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
you could go back and make the camera follow the tomahawk and
Mhm.
like see it
I
Yeah,
hit
love
and stuff.
yeah. Or like they would do like the, the 360s, BYBY crazy, transitions and then throw the knife while in midair, towards their spawn area, wherever they knew people would be to try to get
Yep.
that hit. And then of course it'd be like the last kill cam would be that, and people would just freak out over it. Back when everyone had an Xbox 360 or PS3 headset,
Yeah.
so it sounded
But
like everyone's
this
voice
was
was in their
on
mouth.
PS4, and he made like a compilation of cross the map tomahawk kills. We had like a bunch of them where it just and then follow to clear across and it hit somebody.
I remember seeing those edits, and I remember like wanting to like make one back in the day, and especially when it came to like the titles and the After Effects, when it came to like the tracking of like, I don't know how people would do it back. I mean, now I know, but like back then I didn't know. In those theater modes, they would track text inside theater mode, so it'd be like, Face Clan or something like that, or people like attempting to try to showcase their skills to join Face Clan back in the day. I had a buddy
Yeah.
that he would do that, and he had the scuff controllers, paddles, like one of like the first. I remember when the stuff. Damn, I remember when first scuff controllers first came out. That's crazy to say. And like my buddy was all about, on it and just got those, and he was like, he's like, one day I'll join Phase. One day.
I always talk about that. Like if we're playing Search and Destroy and we just shit on a team that's got a clan tag, like they're all a whole team of the same clan. All at the end, after we
Mhm.
beat them, I'm like, hey, where can I send my montage? I want to join your sick clan. Like just my little like shit talk at the end. I give that to them, but and just remembering back to those times. But yeah, man, I don't know, and it's crazy to think about. I was the same. Like I got a scuff controller back in Black Ops 3, and like to where you could boost, jump, and aim at the same time. Like if you didn't have the paddles, you had to take your thumb off this aiming stick to jump. So if
Yeah.
you could jump and aim while you were in the air, like you had such an advantage. So we had the scuff controllers back in the day, and it just seemed like you could just, and maybe I don't know, and you guys can help me with this question. I don't know if it was like my stage of gaming where I was like just starting out playing more often, or if COD was different back then, but it felt like you could just log in and have fun. And now it's
Yeah.
so
You know what?
freaking sweaty, dude.
So interesting. My buddy Crucial, shout out to Crucial. He made a YouTube video of talking about why video games feel so sweaty nowadays, especially when it comes to like, because he's a big Battlefield 4 player. I mean, like 13,000 hours with just like sniping alone.
Dude.
Um,
Great game to
and
sink hours into.
yeah, he said that's his favorite one, and Battlefield 3 for me. But uh, it was interesting because where I think it's the community that makes it like that, because even back in the day, there was always sweat lords, I feel like back then, but it would never match make you specifically with that. I think SBMM has had to some issues with that. Because you win 2 games, all of a sudden you're with the sweatiest people, and then you lose a few, and then you're back down to MMR and stuff like that. So there's that, and then on top of that, like even just the difference between a standard Call of Duty lobby and a standard Battlefield lobby, there's more of a way to like, he was saying like you can have a player on Battlefield 4 have hundreds of hours, be top tier Colonel, get all the highest KDs, but then you can have a lower, newer player still be able to have a chance to fight and win against gunfights against those level 100 guys. I know some guys are going to be like movement pros in every single game, especially now with Call of Duty. You're going to have movement pros that just love
Mhm.
movement, and it's going to be harder to track them. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the mindset too, because you start going into like everyone wants to become like, back then esports wasn't as big back then as it is now. So now everyone's trying to, feel, not everyone, but there's definitely people that feel like they can try to become like an esports pro. I think also Call of Duty mechanics have like lend itself to more faster movement mechanics as well too. And now with Omni movement. I know people have been complaining about that. Of course, we all saw what it looked like in third person. So um it's interesting to see because it's like if you go back enough, far back enough to like even older Call of Duty, it's kind of just they never you had casual players and hardcore players all playing together on the same lobby, and it. I don't think anyone really had an issue of it. Was there someone that was getting crapped on? Probably, yeah. They had a bad game. They moved on to the next one. It's I don't know. There's a lot of nuances and outside stuff that comes into play, but I don't know. It's a conversation we could probably have for a few hours. To be fair.
Yeah, well, there's not much else to talk about in the podcast. So, what do you think, Buff? How do you feel about it? Do you think like gaming has changed, or do you think it's just like, is it like if someone would start now, they would be in the lower skill bracket and they would feel like they could just play, have fun, and they would slowly get more competitive like I have, or do you think the game's changed and people have changed?
I don't know. I feel like with Call of Duty, again, I took using that as like because with Battlefield's like the main thing I've played for forever. I mean, I started with Call of Duty, and then when I moved to Battlefield way back in the day, like Battlefield was always something you could jump into. And I obviously didn't play like 2042 much at all or anything like that, but Battlefield I always thought was something you could just jump into. Same with the Call of Duties back in the day. Like even Modern Warfare 2 was like, you'd like Blue said, you'd have a bad game, and then you just either if it wasn't a good lobby for you, to leave the lobby and find another one. And it wasn't the end of the day. I think, but like with 2019, Modern Warfare 2019. I thought that was like just a straight fun game. Like I had a great time with that. With just the standard multiplayer was a ton of fun for me. And something like they had the realism mode in multiplayer with the limited HUD and everything. And I loved that game. I had a blast with that game. They had the night mode, so that was just pure fun for me. I do think, and Justin hit on exactly what I was thinking in chat, is like when Warzone came out, I think like the first couple months was just great fun for everybody. That fun from the multiplayer transition into Warzone. And then after you hit like months 5, 6 is when it started getting like super sweaty. And I think that made Call of Duty a sweat fest. I personally didn't notice anything crazy with SBMM or anything like that prior to Warzone with Modern Warfare 2019. So I think Warzone changed Call of Duty for the good and also for the bad, unfortunately. But I do agree that I think before Warzone, at least, with Modern Warfare 2019, because I didn't play much before that. I played Black Ops 4, but Modern Warfare 2019 I thought was a game I could always just jump in at night and have fun with.
Yeah.
Really without worrying. And if I couldn't have just regular fun in the regular mode, I would go play like realism, and that was really
Well,
fun.
it's
So
interesting you brought that up because I think it also lends like, especially a hardcore mode and stuff like that.
yeah,
It tends to lend itself to more simpler mechanics
right.
overall, and I think simpler means more casual compared to
Yeah, and I do think the one thing I noticed with the realism mode, and that I would say this goes for both Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer and Warzone. Because if you guys remember in Warzone, they had a realism limited time mode for Warzone. That was, I think, we saw like 3 times, which unfortunate, but that was that was peak. That was so fun. But the people that were playing the realism modes, whether it would be Warzone or Modern or regular multiplayer, I feel like that was a different. You made a good point there, Blue, because I think it was whether it's just the simpler mechanics or whatnot, but it was also maybe like it catered to a different player base. I feel like I know is when you went into one of those realism modes, whether it's Warzone or multiplayer, the game played very differently. Maybe because
Mhm.
it's limited HUD and it really like simplifies things, but also people, because you're not relying on the mini map and the HUD, people were playing differently because of that. So
And knowing you can take more hits as well too.
well, in those, yeah, well, in those modes, especially like realism, for multiplayer, it was one shot headshot no matter what, which was cool, and regular base body damage. But the fact that you don't have a HUD, I think like a lot of people moved differently, were a little bit more cautious because you weren't relying on the minimap, which I thought I don't know if anybody remembers the whole controversy before that game launched, Modern Warfare 2019. Like they were not going to do a mini map. That was not going to be a thing, except for when a UAVs launched. That everyone had a big fit, and they turned that around. And I thought the game played way better without the mini map.
Yeah, they
In
brought a more
realism,
traditional mini map
in
afterwards.
realism,
Yeah.
yeah, in realism, like you only got the mini map when there was a UAV or something. And I thought the game played better that way. So that's my personal opinion. But yeah, I think Warzone made the game way sweatier.
That's a really good point, and I've noticed that too from my switch to core, from core to hardcore, S&D. People just play slower because if you get caught in a bad position, you're dead. It's about,
You're done. Yeah.
it's kind of about, it's more about like positioning and teamwork and stuff and playing together than it is just running around catching somebody off guard and knifing them with aim assist because your
And it makes
footsteps are
things.
silent.
Do you notice, Crash? It makes like more different weapons viable, right? There's not
Yeah,
really
you can
like
play.
the locked meta, right?
Yeah, you can play with
So
almost anything. Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I loved realism, is you could play with like there was no meta. You could use even with the Warzone, you could use any gun and
Well, that's
be
why I
just
love
fine.
Battlefield as well too, because I feel like there was really never a meta either. Were there like
Right.
fan
Yeah.
favorite weapons? Sure. I mean, like
Yeah.
AEK,
M16A3 from
M16,
Battlefield
yeah,
3.
the high
but,
fire
like,
rate weapons usually were the ones
Yeah.
that people enjoyed. But like you had like a level 100 kernel that could still die from like someone using mortars or a vehicle.
Right.
You start bringing vehicles into the
Mhm.
play, list, and it's more casual that way because you
Mhm.
just get in. You good at one thing, you kind of tend to stick with that. So
Yeah.
Completely
And
agree.
what Buff said really makes sense to me too. Like I feel like it was already starting. There were already, drifter exclusive A's, like going over weapon builds and stuff like that. But like
Mhm.
Warzone brought in like the true game data and like all of the like super meta YouTube channels like J God and stuff like that. And I do think that spilled over into multiplayer a little bit, like that feeling of ultra competitiveness and always running the
Definitely.
best meta stuff and everybody
Yeah.
running the same thing. And then, you just have a lot of folks that, want to sweat it out and they'll go and look like, what's the best build? Those YouTube videos pop off. Everybody uses the
Mhm.
same thing. It wasn't always like that. Like, I think it was starting, but like you said, Warzone kind of accelerated that. It kind of got that culture of
Yeah.
meta. You just hear that all the time now.
Especially for Warzone. I mean, I think that's why I did prefer the like the gunsmith mechanics for Modern Warfare 2019 as opposed to Modern Warfare 2 and 3, because 2 and 3 you have like the different receivers in Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 3 they did like they kind of stuck with that, but then you have aftermarket parts also. Modern Warfare 2019, like you had, and I think that's why my channel did so well initially, is like you had a weapon and then you had attachments for that weapon that you could again convert it to a completely different weapon, and it wasn't glaringly obvious. Like, so that's I think what made that game's multiplayer in Warzone original initially, like you said before, a lot of those YouTubers and everyone was just using the same weapon, made it fun because you could just figure out like these crazy builds, without having somebody tell you like what's what. Just coming up with
Yeah, and
fun new weapons yourself. I preferred that.
that's going to be interesting when we talk a little bit about Black Ops 6. I want to get your opinion on some of the weapons and stuff, but I think it's kind of cool that they went down for less attachments. There's not like 50 different hand grips. There's not 50 different muzzle brakes that do kind of the same thing, and all that stuff. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So I think that covers it. We can get into the Delta Force launch just a little bit if you guys are down.
Yeah, let's do it up.
That kind of got announced in a weird way. I woke up this morning and people were talking about it, and Redbeard was posting it around in the Discord and stuff. And I was like, what? And it actually came out first in an in-game notification. So I saw it on Reddit and stuff, and he posted it, and I'm like, but they haven't tweeted it. And as they left it, they said that they're going to announce the date on the 22nd. And then I wonder if that didn't come out early. I wonder if that little in-game message talking about December 5th didn't come out a little bit early, is what it kind of feels like. I guess we'll never know. And even if they told us, it would be in Chinese and I wouldn't understand it anyway.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yep, you guys heard that, right? Delta Force events. Thank you guys for the memberships, Redbeard and D. I appreciate that. The announcement is PC Global Open Beta is going to be December 5th of 2024, the year of our Lord. It's going to be out and ready to rock. So
does that mean like it's early access or it's out? Like it's
So
it's
that's
out for
that's another
good?
thing too. I guess it was originally going to be quote unquote early access, which is like
Now they're calling
now
it early beta.
yeah, so it's like,
VR,
are we just gonna get another version, the same version of this playtest again for open beta,
Well,
or is it
the
gonna be the
Chinese,
updated version that the Chinese
yeah,
already have?
yeah, I
it
think
will
it's
be
gonna
updated.
be the updated version.
Okay,
Based on
but
what they
I just
said.
look. All I want to see is that building come down, and then I'll know for sure it's the
Drop
updated
it.
version. You know,
Drop that building.
just saying.
So they basically all they did was change the name. Like they changed Delta Force Hawk Ops to just Delta Force. They're changing previously called early access is now global open beta. I wonder if they're changing it because of like the bad rap that early access has been getting. They
Yeah,
changed
that's
it
what
to
I
the
was
global
thinking.
open
Like
beta.
Well, then I wonder,
PR
are they gonna
campaign.
do the global open beta now and then later do early access technically,
Nope.
or are they just gonna go open beta and then just full release?
And then 1.0, yep.
Okay, all right. That feels more traditional, like almost back in the day.
Yeah,
it sounds
feels
like what they're saying, Crash. I mean, you can. I think we're gonna go through it, but there's not gonna be a wipe when it does officially
Right.
launch. Right?
Yeah, when this open beta launches, there's no more wiping. So it's like it's gonna be like Arena Breakout. It's gonna be up and running. This is gonna be the version of the game, and then it's gonna that makes it feel more like a AAA launch, right? Like you have Call of Duty has their open beta, and then we get 1.0 on Thursday night. Like that's I think that's why they did it. And they're calling it, the first season's gonna start right away, called Genesis. So there's going to be a new operator joins the fray alongside the 7 you've already met. So there's going to be new modes, a new mode right off the bat. Explore new battlegrounds. There's going to be new maps in both Warfare and Hazard Ops. And they're going to be rolling out new weapons, vehicles, appearances, UI, mechanics, servers, languages, and more over the next 44 days. So they're going to be trickling out some information. There's going to be a new, it looks like a little bird. New mode. It's hard to tell what that is. A couple new maps, a new map in Hazard Ops, and it looks like a new map and new modes in both things. The new op has some kind of drone technology or some kind of drone with her. It either looks like a healing drone or some kind of a smoke drone. It wouldn't surprise me if it was some kind of like remote healing drone or something, because there's only one medic so far. That would be pretty cool. Then with the new weapons, Buff could probably tell me what these are. The top one looks kind of like an SLR or something. And then
I like downloaded the picture. I'll zoom in on my screen. Yeah, so the
I know
top
the
one,
middle one is QBZ for sure.
do you think it's the new QBZ?
I guess the newer
one?
the 191 is that the one, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't
That
100%.
stock looks like the integrated stock of the back of the QBZs that the Chinese military have.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm not too familiar with Chinese weapons, because initially I was looking at it.
I only know because of World War III.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I was initially looking at it and I was like, oh wow, is that like a mutant or something? But it didn't look like the profile of a mutant, nor it didn't really look like I think the
no,
mag
it
would
is
be more
762 by
curved,
39
too.
for sure. Wait,
Is
no.
it? I don't
QBZ
think
is
so.
like that weird caliber.
It's the
It's that
5.
weird
Yeah, it's like a 5.8 or 5.7.
that would make sense for the
something.
magazine then. That would make sense for the magazine.
It's a weird caliber. I'm not sure what the first one is either.
Is it like a FAL?
I mean,
no. What, the first one?
The top one.
They already
Yeah.
have that.
No,
right?
the FAL profile would be different. It looks
Stock
like
looks HK. Like
yeah,
it looks like an HK.
Initially I was gonna say PSG. The top one's 100% 762 by 51. I was gonna say a PSG, which would be
They already have the pistol grip of
G3.
the PSG.
Do they? Okay, yeah. So I'm not really sure what that one is. I'll go with what you said, but the QBZ for the second one seems like it makes most sense. And the bottom one's clearly a MG338 or a M250, which is that new Sig Sauer machine gun.
That one definitely.
The first two are kind of up in the air. It's a little bit hard to tell. I need a little bit more detail. The top one,
I mean, G3A3 possibly, maybe.
No, I don't know why. I don't know why they would do it, because the G3 is in the game, so you have
Yeah.
attachments for handguards and stuff. So I'm not sure.
Because it's like that stock is definitely G3 looking. The
Yeah,
way
What's
it
that
like just comes down
LMG?
and it's straight.
The LMG's an M250 or a MG338, which is that new Sig Sauer NGSW
At that
vid.
reciprocating barrel and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
it's essentially it's the RAL LMG from COD, or it's gonna be the little brother firing 6.8 by 51.
How about that? You already get an LMG, Buff. Look at that.
Yeah,
Right
it's
off the rip.
more than Infinity Ward did with Modern Warfare 2. So that's cool.
We had to take an LMG shot at Infinity Ward. I knew it.
Yeah, that was bad, man. Dark
But
days.
some of the other things that I've heard is allegedly. So there's been a couple people on Reddit who have played the Chinese version who is ahead of us. Like they're already out and playing this version, I do believe. And they said that the biggest problem, my biggest problem, is like the AI posing as players. We talked about it quite a bit last week. That's supposed to be less. It's supposed to be to where like you might see them in your first couple matches, but then they're gone. So I really hope that's the case. There's going to be other new stuff like the Mandel bricks going to have like crazy skins in them and be a lot more rare. And there's going to be like the player auction house and trading house to trade skins. And then yeah, it's just pretty cool to see new stuff off the rip. I'm a little bit like, if I was going to say if anything about this is a bummer, it's kind of, I think, the lack of total maps. I think it's going to be a little bit light on maps, especially for Havoc Warfare. If there's just like 4 or 5 maps, that's a little light for a respawn game mode, in my opinion. That number is going to be building like right off the bat, you know, like they're adding more and stuff like that. But I feel like the map count is a little light. It's not as much a big deal, in my opinion, for Hazard Ops. Some of those maps are big. How the raids play out are really unique, and like there's different contracts and you have different missions to do. It's not as big a deal in Hazard Ops, in my opinion. But I am a little bit concerned about the Havoc Warfare maps. And after playing it this week, my opinion still stands. I think the Extraction Hazard Ops mode is sick. I think it's awesome. I think it's such a great experience. It's like the perfect blend of arcade and hardcore with depth, you know. But if the Havoc Warfare just isn't it. Like if I want that experience, I think Battlefield still does it better. Even 2040, sorry, even 2042. I'm sorry to say. I feel like plays smoother and better still. I just not too impressed with it. It feels more like Ground War from COD, kind of like just not quite there. That's my opinion. So yeah, new season already off the bat, and then we know in Q1 2025 is going to be console release and another season, and controller support on PC, like official controller support. Is early access still happening? Again, they have some frequently asked questions. So then they're saying like the open beta version will replace early access and will feature full live service content updates with no more progress resets, so no more wipes. And they ask, will there be paid content in the global open beta, the GOB, if you will? They said yes, there will be paid content available for purchase, primarily battle passes, weapon appearances, and vehicle appearances. However, there will be no pay to win elements. So they're still saying that it looks like it's going to be the battle pass and skins only so far. Languages no one cares about. What's new? Okay, so what's different between the Next Fest version and the global open beta? It said expect a ton of new content like maps, modes, operators, weapons, and vehicles, along with major improvements to gameplay, including better performance, bug fixes, and a stronger anti-cheat system. They did talk more about anti-cheat. Controller support I addressed, and then console and mobile versions are planned for Q1 2025. So December 5th is the day. I think the timing is pretty interesting. I think the timing is pretty smart. That's about when the new is going to kind of wear off COD, if that makes sense. I feel like the game, I mean the game is up and running in China, so like they could launch at any time. So I feel like they kind of had their pick of a window here, and they kind of picked like after the COD hype kind of starts to tail off a bit, in my opinion. But I don't know what you guys think.
No, I
I'm still
agree.
trying to figure out what the other weapon is. That's like my life's goal.
Are you still
Because
stuck on the guns?
Because they had the PTR 91 in game, correct? Or the PTR 32?
The 762 by 39 one, yeah.
The 39. So there's a PTR 91, but it wouldn't make sense if they already have a G3 in game.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
it's weird because it is 76 by 51. It's got a Picatinny rail on the top. I can tell just from the little stubble on top with the front sight, rear sight. I don't know. It's just weird that
watch it just be a placeholder too. It's because it looks like a G3, right? That's initially what I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, the G3's
Yeah,
in
that
game.
stock
Watch
is
it just be a
screaming G3
placeholder.
HK.
Yeah.
It's,
I gotta
it's
run
screaming
really
old school
quick.
HK.
Yeah.
I gotta run really quick. I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
We'll talk about the gun while you're gone.
Okay, yeah, you guys figure out this gun while I'm gone. I gotta set my son in the high chair. My wife had the C-section and can't lift him, so I gotta set him up in the high chair, and I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good.
Got you. I was thinking Galil at 2 at first, but that's too long that it doesn't have like the unless it's a different version of a Galil. I don't know.
mean, there's a couple different, like the newer ones are the Aces and stuff, but I don't think I'm zooming in on it on my end too. Yeah, I mean it looks like a G3, but I don't like the barrel. The barrel looks different. It's got a thick barrel, so I'm not. But yeah, it's an HK 100%. I think I would need to look like what the G3 looked like in game again, but that looks like a G3 for me. So I'm curious if it's just a placeholder. Same with the second one. I mean, I think you're right. It probably isn't that new QBZ, but it looks like just a modern. The curve of the mag looks like a 762 by 39 for whatever reason to me. So that also could just be.
Yeah, if you look up QBZ 191, you can see the stock is specifically that
like
one for
that.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Even like the you can see where the gas tube is right on top. It's like because I think what they tried to do is combine the firepower of an AK with the look and feel of like an M4. So they tried to do what the HK-47 did with the mutant. But China used some cheaper variants and stuff.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. Apparently that gun sucks too, and keyholes like crazy, and all the
yeah.
demos.
Oh my god, those videos are hilarious. Dude. Have you seen those crash with the Chinese? Like, I don't know if they're SF or just basic infantry, but like they went around doing like a shoot house drill, and every single like paper target is just the side profile of a bullet just hitting the paper.
It's keyholing.
Yeah, just keyholing like crazy, dude. Just
so for those that don't know, like a bullet is supposed to go straight. So keyhole means it's turning and going through the target sideways. It's called keyhole.
If it hits you, it's gonna hurt still, but it's definitely not gonna. There's no piercing for that. So it's just
you just don't know. And
so
it's like not
well,
accurate.
it's like it's probably because it's like the only ones that they they probably haven't manufactured a lot, so it's probably the only ones that are in circulation, which means they're getting a lot of rounds through their barrels. So
yeah, that's funny.
All right,
not something you want showcased.
No, that's not ideal. Unless there used to be, some of the first 300 blackout rounds when it first kind of started becoming popular, it was called the 300 Whisper, and they'd shoot them really slow, so they were super quiet, and they would tumble, and like they would shoot FMJ bullets and plan on it tumbling. Wow! There was some guys shooting varmints with it from Arkansas, and it was just like exploding stuff because it was like they wanted it to tumble on purpose.
Oh my god!
But generally, with a service rifle,
you don't want that. Yeah,
that's bad. Okay, so yeah, Delta Force, that's cool. So it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out pretty good. Podcast wise, content wise, we got. We should be seeing like Gray Zone soon. We got the Call of Duty launch, and then we're gonna see Delta Force come out. So it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that'll be good. And I think I did read. Well, we'll get into it. Never mind.
I think I do think that Delta Force is going to be massive when it gets that free-to-play console audience too. I think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, which should be, I think, is still planned for Q1.
Q1,
so you'll probably see that early 25 as for the consoles.
Okay, so we've been talking about it, and I know a lot of our viewers are like us and really like tactical games and all that stuff. And I would argue you could find some tactical experiences within Call of Duty with Search and Destroy, but COD's not for everyone anymore. It's not what it used to be, but it still is like the biggest FPS every year. So we're an FPS podcast, so we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to allow myself to feel nostalgic and get excited, even though the game's going to piss me off. And I know it. Just let me have my fun. Leave me alone. Okay. Going to talk about the Call of Duty launch Thursday night for most people stateside. Let's get into it if I can figure it out. We did get some information over the last few days, not just marketing hype. And then I want to talk about the craziness of the Call of Duty cheat stuff that happened with like Bobby Poff and stuff. That was wild. Did we talk about that last week, Blue?
No, but I do want to talk about too, like the future of like Black Ops anti-cheat, because I know they said they want to use some AI behind it as well too, which is interesting to hear that as well. I don't know if you saw that as well. I'm sure you guys did. Yeah.
I'll try to find that blog. If you have it, you might send it to me, but I think
I saved it on Twitter or X, whatever the hell it's called.
I knew what you meant. So for launch modes coming to Black Ops 6, it looks like we're gonna get standard modes, TDM, boring, domination, boring, search and destroy. Okay, all right, we're getting somewhere. See a little guy planting the bomb back there on the weapon site. And then kill confirmed, like normal, free for all the normal stuff we get every single year. Hard point, gunfight. This is gonna be pretty cool. I always like gunfight. I really hope gunfight gets more love this season than it did the last season. It didn't get very many new maps in the last Call of Duty at all. Headquarters, that's been around before. Kill order is kind of one of the new ones. It feels like some variation has been around before, where the HVT is marked. You get a little bit of extra armor to try to be the high value target. The more score you get. Controls coming out. You take turns attacking, defending with limited respawns. Face off domination. That's weird. I don't know what that is. Okay. I remember these. So the face off ones happen on the strike maps. So they're bringing like half of the maps or so a really small, think like Shipment and Nuketown and stuff. They're going to be really tiny maps. So they're turning off score streaks, which is really cool because like if you get in a Shipment map and somebody starts rolling through their score streaks, like it's stupid. Like you just die off spawn. Right. So it's kind of cool that they're doing face-off modes where it's just gunplay. There's no score streak. So I think that's pretty interesting, and that's going to be on the smaller map. So like if you want to level up guns, if you want some crazy stuff, if you want to warm up, you can with your gun skills before you hop into search or something, you can play some face-off modes and not have to worry about score streaks and just play with your guns. Then hardcore modes, all the modes in hardcore, including search and destroy. So I'll have to report back which one's better, core or hardcore. I'll have to give it a go. It's gonna come down to footstep audio, dude. We talked about audio last week, but I'm really, really curious to see what that's gonna be like. There's gonna be a training course. There's gonna be a firing range, and I don't know if you looked into this much. It's got about the same features as it has had. Static moving and recoil targets. I don't think being able to check recoil, that's new, isn't it? Like having a blank slate to shoot. That's
new. Yeah, usually you just look at a wall.
Isn't it just usually dummies? Yeah, you usually have to go into a map and look at dummies. Isn't that right, Buff? Like that's new. There's like a blank
recoil pad.
Yeah, there's like a blank paper target where you can test your recoil. I don't think that's been in the firing range.
Yeah, no, that's new for sure. Yeah.
But nothing will beat the Delta Force firing range in Gunsmith. That thing is insane. And in theater mode, dude,
I definitely am a little disappointed. The shooting range just looks the same, kind of.
It pretty much is, yeah.
Yeah, they really.
I mean, it's kind of pretty much all fire ranges kind of look the same, anyways. But
I guess, but like Arena Breakout and Delta Force, I feel like just took it to another, especially Arena Breakout. Arena Breakout did something.
I mean,
very
it's the
unique looking.
Fire Ranges look the same, but it's the mechanics and the uses
and
that you can get
yeah,
from
and
it.
Arena
It's
Breakout did
different,
a
yeah.
different like setting for their shooting range for the most part. I think
Yeah, yeah.
Delta Force and Call of Duty have like a standard looking firing
I
range,
do
but
like. I
that's
do
fine.
prefer like more of the like how is it Arena Breakout where it's like more open instead of just
Yeah,
lanes.
you're in like a
Yeah,
hangar.
I do
You're in a hangar,
prefer
yeah.
that more. But
Yeah.
that's more like a visual
Mhm.
preference.
And then theater mode, dude.
Theater
Man.
mode.
I feel, dang it, dude. Like, I feel like I'm not having 2 kids. I'm not going to have enough time to use
I'm
this.
curious.
I could
Is
spend some
theater mode
time
only
in
going to be
this.
for
Whose fault is
multiplayer?
that, Crash? I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. I was just having fun and I'm figuring out how this all works. I think I got it figured out though.
Oh man.
Yeah, so theater mode is going to be the first time on the new Call of Duty engine. It lets you capture
with
recent
multiplayer,
action in
yeah.
all their glory. So here's what's going to happen. You can switch between first, third person. I'm going to try that one more time, boys.
Okay.
First person, third person, and fly cam perspectives for all players in the match. Elimination and deaths are all visualized on the timeline. That's sick.
That's old school theater mode.
Is it really?
There was like these little red lines that popped up, and now it'd be like where you died
That's
specifically, or
badass.
where you got kills.
Nice. Easily skip to the viewed player's next elimination from the timeline. Fast forward, rewind, and full playback speed controlled. Press record to trigger an Xbox or PlayStation recording while in theater mode. Theater mode is not on PS4 and Xbox One, and all the theater modes files expire after 7 days or when a game update is released. That's important. So if there's a game update coming and there's a game you want to check out and
I mean,
in theater mode, you better get it.
I remember needing the capture card for a lot of the stuff back in the day. You know, so
Pretty cool.
you would basically like use the capture card to record, quote unquote, the recording that's already in game.
Gotcha, man. Somebody's gonna make some cool shit with this. If I don't have time to, I'll get to watch somebody make something cool. If you're wanting to bring friends over for a game on any of the launch master modes or comprehensive menus, allow you to adjust every aspect. Select private matches is also an excellent method of observing and exploring any maps you need a closer inspection of. So
we're gonna
these are
get old
private
school
matches.
machinimas, bro.
Yeah, man.
I just thought about that. If people can make skits again back in Call of Duty on private matches, let's go, dude.
Make some short films, dude.
Dude, it's like I remember like just it's like back when Red versus Blue and Halo and like those days people were just going crazy with the theater mode. Oh man, this is bringing nostalgia memories.
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Yeah, it is.
Dang it, Call of Duty, stop it.
We'll just record a
tugging
podcast
on
in a
the
private
heartstrings.
match and walk around.
Dude, that would be hilarious, bro. Just get the camera, just like looking at us, and we like move in game, like our guns doing this. You know, yo, yeah, that's funny. You know, ha ha ha.
I'll be teabagging every time I talk. I'm teabagging. Just so you know. And then to recap, all the launch maps are small to medium size, traditional 3-lane routes, so they're more on like the competitive side. But the cool part is, for the first time in a long time, there are 12 brand new core 6v6 maps, and there are 4 new strike maps. So there's 16 maps, the way I take it, that'll be able to be played on. And the strike maps, the 4 small ones, will be gunfight and like the face-off. So like the 6v6, hectic but no score streaks. So I think that's a really cool way to balance it.
Do I dare buy Black Ops? Do I dare get it?
I'm talking.
I really want to see. I really
want
to see. You are because one, I want to see the new maps. One, I want to see hardcore mode in this. And like 2, I want to game with the boys. I want to game with you guys. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because I know you guys are. I know you guys are. At least we'll check it out. I'm curious to see how long you'll be playing for it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna be putting hours into Search, man. I love playing Search. I might be washed from Rainbow Six.
Game Pass. Duh. I don't have to actually buy it. I can just test it and see if I like it.
There you go.
Yeah, you could.
And I'm gonna buy it on GOG because Steam only gives you licenses.
That's right. So these maps, these maps look pretty cool, man. I'm excited. It's going to be exciting to play 12 or 16 like new maps, like not remakes, for shit's sake. Like everything's a remake in this franchise, man. But but this is cool. Payback looks cool. The colors look cool. I don't know. Just kind of scrolling through them. Like a soccer stadium. That looks sick. This one was one in the beta, the rewind one on an old like strip mall with a video store, like a Blockbuster. Scud Skyline was there. We played that one. Subsonics new with like a stealth bomber inside a hangar. Looks pretty cool. There's a bank, another snowy map, and then the strike maps with Gala. Pit was a disaster. That was a shit show. Steak was crazy. And then Warhead, which is like an exploded. I wonder if Search and Destroy will be on these little maps. That'll be interesting.
Whoa, hold on. Is Warhead the aftermath of Nuketown?
Yep, it's exploded Nuketown.
What? Finally, they did something different. Okay.
And Nuketown is coming in a couple months, so of course it is.
Wait, so this isn't their version of Nuketown? Okay. I mean, I'd rather just play this. I've played Nuketown too many times.
Yeah. Well, this is a wild version of Nuketown that's been exploded and changed. But then
because now it's got some like verticality to it and whatnot, different.
There's gonna be like new angles and different stuff, and you can like go under the buses in the middle. There's like trenches and like,
that's pretty dope. Yeah. So
it looks different.
Finally, we see what happens after the nuke exploded after every round back in the day.
Yep. After it happened, there's nothing that I care about here. These are all skins that I don't really care about.
Yeah, I'm curious because right now the skins are quote unquote like within this lore-ish. I know some of them are a little bit more outlandish, but like I really hope it's not just a free for all on the skins, man. Like that's another big thing. I forgot to mention too, like I know we talked about it, I think last night, Crash, of like the Delta Force like gold skin.
Yeah,
I'm curious what you thought about that, Buff, just real quick, just from like
I don't know
if you saw that skin.
I didn't see it, no, but I don't know. The skins are skins, and this I know what to expect of the last couple releases. So
that's true. I just wish someone mentioned it too. I think it was a you, Crash, or in your last video, maybe it was like you wish there was like a button just to click and turn off.
Yeah, I always thought that it could just make everybody happy if you could just like just go into your settings and switch that shit off, and then everybody be in a default skin, which I feel like could be done because especially in COD, like if they come out with a crazy skin, it belongs to an operator. It's not like a standalone skin. It's like an outfit for an op that's already in the game. So if you could just turn on like standard skins, then whenever you saw that op, you would just always see their standard base skin. But I don't think they'll ever do it because then who's going to want to pay for skins that everybody can just shut off? It would be cool, but yeah, I don't think they will. I did see some people mad. So at launch, there's going to be 7 ARs, 6 SMGs, 2 shotguns, 3 LMGs, 4 marksman rifles, and 3 snipers. You will notice that, thank the Lord, there is no riot shield. There will be no riot shields in this game. I'm so thankful for that. That's like
not yet.
So huge. They better not, dude. Some people are saying that's not enough guns. I don't know, dude. There's only going to be like 3 or 4 anyway that are good.
Well, it's also like the customization per gun is pretty extensive, if I remember correctly, that gunsmith. So it's like,
well, they actually kind of consolidated it a little more. It's not as crazy. There's not as many attachments, but
okay,
it's kind of more old school.
Yeah.
Yes, Val.
I don't remember that many weapons being on, like, I'm thinking like original Black Ops. Like, I don't remember that many, but it's been such a long time. I'd have to go to like the list.
Trying to look at these. Oh, the L85. Isn't that what this is? The GPR9 L85. That looks sweet.
The GPR9, yeah, it's L85A2, I think.
Buff would know.
I'm looking.
What the hell is that thing? The Goblin?
That's I believe the AR-18. Oh, not the Goblin. The one above The one above, I think, was an AR-18. The Goblin, I don't know what the Goblin is.
Goblin
That
okay.
looks
I would need to.
interesting.
That
It's probably one of those like weapons that
Or no,
were
that's not an
made for
AR-18.
testing and then just never
Yeah, probably. I
was
don't.
put in production. There's a
Yeah.
lot of weapons during, especially during like the 80s and 90s. There was a lot of weapons that were just like, let's just try it out and see what happens kind of thing,
Yeah,
you know.
Black Ops does a lot of that. Yeah, that other one I said it was an AR-18. It wasn't an AR. It was not an AR-18. But yeah, you have the SR3, the AS Val. It's good to see those coming back. Of course, what would the Call of Duty game be without a Bison, right?
Yeah.
Have it in every Call of Duty game, no matter what.
Interesting. I had
Yeah,
to go through and look through all these again as well too, and then the
I
LMGs.
honestly was a little disappointed with the weapon list. Not super
Dude,
excited. You
they
have
could have brought
M240
more
there.
they could have brought an M60 and they didn't.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be post-launch for sure. Oh, you have the AEK. That's cool. I didn't see that. That's nice.
Yeah. I love the only one that really has its name is the SVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see how out of the loop I am. I haven't even looked at all the weapons, but go back to the AEK. Is it 973? Okay, so it's probably gonna be a 762 by 39 version then.
Does the AEK in real life have the like the burst quick fire at first and then slow down?
No, it's the AN-94, but the
That's what I
AEK
was
does have a 2-round burst option on it, which Larry Vickers with his testing said he preferred it to the AN-94s, but it doesn't do
Really?
it doesn't do a hyper burst. But yeah, I mean it's a pretty good weapon list. I didn't see I didn't see the AEK at first, so that's cool. And then you have, I wonder if they're calling that's the AR-18. The other one was a Krig, which is the AK5C. I think it is, or the AK, just the AK5. Yeah, so there's a lot of good weapons. Yeah, that's the L85 A1. It looks like is the one you were talking about.
Yeah, like that one.
A lot of good guns there, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see.
I mean, shotguns and LGs definitely got like
How it all ties in.
the short end of the stick on this one for
I
sure.
think the
Like
LMGs did
two
too.
shotguns, bro.
Yeah, I think the LMGs did too. But
There's so
again,
many other
when
cool
you're
weapons. I'm
doing
sure
when you're
later.
doing tie-ins though, like it's tough because you wouldn't want to. You don't want to repeat. Like there's already a PKM in the game. You don't want to repeat all the same weapons, so it's tough to. They put themselves in a weird spot now where they're going to have the integration into Warzone, right? So it's like you're just going to have duplicates of multiple weapons.
Well,
So
and
it's like,
then it's
how
like,
do they got
why
to differentiate it
they brought in
somehow.
a 22
Yeah, and it was
weapon as
actually
well too. 22,
that was pretty funny. It was actually like super strong in the beta too. The Tanto
which
22.
is hilarious to see
Yeah,
that.
it's
I mean,
funny.
don't get me wrong, 22 will still f someone up if shot enough times, but I mean, it's just weird seeing that,
Yeah.
like out of all the guns you could have pulled from, you pulled from that, and that's what you introduced. So yeah, and yeah, I guess same thing with like that weird M16 LMG looking thing. I've never even knew, I didn't know that was a thing. If that is a thing, I don't know. That's ever
I
been
gotta
made
go
like a
put my
belt
son
fed
down. I'll be right
M16.
back.
Okay.
Do it. Has that ever been a thing, Buff? A belt
What is it?
fed M16?
Yeah, there was an Armalite platform that Eugene Stoner came up with originally. Yeah, so that is a real thing.
That
So
looks like the barrel of like an A2, like the or an A4. It just seems like a very long barrel. I don't know if that was.
yeah, Call of Duty always takes liberties with things, but I'll have to
That's true
like get
too.
my hands on it to rotate it and kind of get a look at it for sure to see. But Yeah, I mean that is a real thing. So
Yeah.
it's cool that they're adding that, but I agree. I definitely wanted like an M60 E3, right? Is right in this time period,
Yeah,
or
M16
is
M60s were still in use by the
yeah
US military during
the
this time. Yeah.
E3 was in service during the Gulf War. So
Correct. Correct.
I
Yeah.
think that went into service in the mid '80s. The E3 did. So
Yeah.
it'd be really nice to see an M60 because I think we saw the OG E1 um, in Cold War, which I love that gun for sure. But the E3, E4, E6, I think are aesthetically just the best. So
Are you ever gonna get your 249? That's what I wonder, right?
well, we have the 249 in Modern Warfare 3, so that's what I'm saying. Like, since a lot of these weapons are going to cross into Warzone, it's like how do they could add the mini me, and they could add a PKM, they could add some other things, but they're already in Modern Warfare 3. So you don't then you're gonna have duplicates in Warzone. So they're trying. That's why I think we're seeing some weird, like the Goblin, right? We're seeing weird weapons like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was trying to look up to see what it was, but from what I could tell, it seems to be pretty much possibly a made up weapon.
Yeah, I don't think it's a real weapon. It could have very well been like some prototype one because that's what I mean. They did some of those in Black Ops Cold War. It just never saw service or was on the drawing papers or something. Like the EM2 or whatever from Cold War, I think was an ugly, horrendous weapon that was the
Oh, wait a
predecessor
minute.
to the L85s essentially.
So apparently the Goblin Mark II actually it's oh god, is a weird looking one. It was apparently produced for I might be wrong, an Australian Defense Force. Sorry, yeah, Australian Defense Force. And it's supposed to be a general purpose infantry rifle. So it is. I don't know
Oh,
the
cool.
actual name behind it, but
Hmm.
it kind of actually it looks like the beginnings of the Og family.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of looked like a beginning of a. It looked more like the beginning of a wow, I
Is
can't
that on
remember
the
what it's
Call of Duty
called.
website?
Can't remember what it's called. I don't,
Crash that those all those weapons.
Yeah.
it's on their
Okay.
blog. Yeah,
Blogs.
I think. What did it look like? It looked like an F. No, I can't remember what it's called, man. I'm having a blank right now. I don't know. The 240's in there though. That's cool, I guess. The
Which one
FN
did you want me to
mag.
pull up?
240, the 240 Bravo is.
Well, the original FN mag. Yeah, it looked like
Oh, got you.
was there. So yeah, it's
Um,
actually a pretty decent weapon list. I've always been a fan of the L85 too, so that's cool.
yeah, I
I
like
haven't
that
seen
one.
that since Modern Warfare 2019. The S-Val looks like the same model as it had, which is good. I mean, it's not broke, don't fix it.
You guys want to talk about the perks a little bit? I kind of am trying to get a read on like footsteps and stuff, and I think this can kind of tell us what's up a little bit.
Yeah, let's
For
go
sure,
for it.
for sure.
So I'll just go over some of the stuff that's new or interesting to me. Like you have a lot of the standard tacticals and stuff. There is a spy cam, which is like the spotter that was in some of the older games. And then you have a prox alarm. This is interesting. This is something that's in Siege. That will beep and also display on the map where someone is if they get close to it. So I see this as something cool for tactical players to be able to watch your back and combat quiet footsteps that I'm scared is going to be in this game. So prox alarm, it didn't work very good in the beta. I think some stuff was bugged in the beta, so hopefully that's a little bit fixed. And then as far as lethals go, there are the standard stuff: frag grenade, sticky grenade, C4, thermo, impact grenade, um, Molotov, blast trap. So that's the new one. And there's a drill charge and a combat axe. So you got the combat axe for throwing, will be pretty cool. For some clips, and the blast trap. So that's like a trip mine. So that'll be helpful for that as well. And then with field upgrades, you have trying to see. Sorry. What the hell is that? A spring mine? That looks like a bouncing Betty almost as a field upgrade. That's
Oh
interesting.
man, wait till you see those in theater mode again.
Oh yeah, that'll be pretty cool. A scrambler. Okay, I get that. What's a signal lure? Reveal your position to enemies, but earn bonuses and score for kills for surviving.
It's
That's
probably something for
interesting.
like to showcase on like a red dot like on the mini map and to maybe like bring someone in, possibly.
I guess it shows you on the map so you can like bait people to push you. Weird.
Be interesting to see.
A war cry. This is new. Rally your team, improving nearby allies' movement speed and health regen speed for a duration. Interesting. Tack insertion. We know what that is.
Never really was a fan of tack inserts.
Nah, it never really worked very well. Unless sometimes I feel like there was, and this is kind of what I was getting into. I feel like there was a search and destroy where you could do the tack insertion and it would give you another life.
Yeah,
which is a little broken.
Everyone would just run it. Yeah, exactly.
Acoustic amp. This is the one I tried it in the beta. Again, this is for footstep audio, personal audio amplifier that marks enemy footsteps louder for duration. It didn't work at all in the beta. Like I could not tell a difference. So I don't know. And then the weird one, or morphine injector, which is like last stand. So last stand is a field upgrade. It's not a perk anymore, which is probably good. It was very annoying.
Okay, nice.
And then the sleeper agent is the weird one, where you infiltrate the enemy team, appearing as a friendly to them for short duration. Kills extend the time. Gunfire and enemy content reveal your true identity. So that was weird, where you look like a friendly. I don't know. It'd be funny if you got comms too, where you could like, if you were in their comm chat, that would be pretty funny. And then with the perks, yeah.
So what you have like different versions of is it so like you have 3 slots, right? You have the enforcer, recon, and strategist.
Yeah, those are the different ones, but you have to, if you run all the same perks,
yeah,
like if you run all red perks, then you get combat enforcer specialty as like you get a bonus perk. If you do like all enforcer perks or all blue perks or all the green perks, yeah.
I'm seeing ninja on recon.
Yeah, but what's cool is like ghost and ninja are together, so hopefully you can't really run them at the same time. So you'll have to pick. That might help with the footsteps a little bit too. Unless there's perk greed, then you might be able to. I think there is though. So yeah, we'll have to see. So if you use all red perks, you get enforcer. Killing enemies grants a temporary buff, movement speed, and health regen. Recon. When 3 recon perks are equipped, enemies can be seen through walls for a short time after respawn. Huh. HUD edge indicator flash on enemies outside your view, leaving no dust skulls when killing enemies. Oh, so you get like the awareness perk. Strategist. When 3 strategist perks are equipped, you earn a score bonus for objectives and destroying enemy equipment. See equipment through walls and deploy equipment and field upgrades faster. So it's like engineer.
And then also, it's weird because I'm looking at like the slots. So it's like for like recon specifically, like if you get ghost and ninja, but then you wouldn't be able to get the recon combat specialty, or is it like how you have to get one of each? Like you can only get either ghost and then like tracker and then cold-blooded, like, or it's I gotta see it on the screen in game.
This helps right here. Like, so in your perk 1 slot, you have to have, and perk 2 and 3, you have to pick one of these red ones in each of your 3 slots.
Okay, so you can't, like you said, you can't have both on that same slot,
right? Unless in your wild card you pick perk greed, and perk greed gives you an extra perk. So I think you can do ninja and ghost. Dang.
But ghost is available first, then ninja. And from what it says move more quietly. And I'm curious I don't know if during the playtest, if people did you get to hear like footsteps?
There wasn't much, man. It was super quiet. Barely.
Yeah. So if it's already quiet by itself and they just say more quiet, it's just gonna be damn near silent.
It might be, yeah. And then I'm gonna be
Yeah.
back to playing hardcore.
Yep. Yep. Unless there's
So,
a counter for that.
yeah, I would expect. I'm hoping audio is like different and reworked. Last week we talked about that audio blog that they put out. They said they tried to adjust audio and even footsteps audio because footstep audio is completely getting lost in the mix. Like they can only play so many sounds at once. And they were working
Correct.
on that during the beta. So the audio was pretty bad in the beta. So I'm hoping they got some work done on it.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that could possibly help would be tracker. And that's because you can see enemy footsteps,
Yep.
but that's about it. I mean, if you're already seeing them, most likely they're already behind you anyways. So
In hardcore, you're definitely dead by then.
Yeah.
I was gonna see some perks. Yeah, tracker. So you could do like perk greed, ghost ninja, tracker, and like cold blooded, and then have that. Yeah, that'd be a pretty good search perk list.
Interesting.
The other thing is, real quickly, there's the launch dates really fast. I'll just go over them really quickly. PlayStation and Xbox is on October 24th. It says 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know why that's a range. That doesn't make any sense. Preload is live today as of the 21st. Battle.net and Steam, 9 p.m. Pacific time on October 24th. So that is 11 o'clock. I was wrong. I thought I saw 2,200 hours for me. 9 p.m. Pacific.
So midnight for East Coast.
Midnight Eastern, 11 my time. And then
that's a little late.
There's an update. They updated the new interface, so it's a little bit easy. Hopefully, like launching Call of Duty, it's not as terrible. They tried to redo the UI for that. Here's an example of it.
Is that the UI for in-game too, or is that just?
That's what it's going to be like. So now you have the COD HQ where you like launch into it and have to scroll down and around to find the game you want. Now it's going to be this. This is what you're going to be met with. Shows you what's last played, what's hot. You can go to all games, see all the different games, launch into Warzone or Black Ops multiplayer.
All right.
A little better, I would say. The other thing that
check
was
out the campaign for sure.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what you guys think of that. Dude, this anti-cheat stuff was so chalked, man. Just really quickly, because you just want to talk about Star Citizen? It's kind of over and done with, so we don't have a ton of time.
Doesn't matter. Whatever.
We can talk about that next time, to be fair, because like I really want to hear your thoughts on like, because we'll talk about the cheating now, but then like what's coming up next for Black Ops 6. I feel like that's like the bigger topic right now.
Yeah,
Star Citizen can wait. They've it's we gotta wait for a couple
they've
years
been working on it a while.
Yeah, they can wait.
So last week or two, one of the main Call of Duty streamers that's still active right now, Bobby Pop, streams for Optic Gaming, got banned. And of course, everybody, like all of the Call of Duty streamer hunters that are, finding the cheat guys, the bad boy Beemans and Call of Shame and all those turds that make stuff up against legit content creators all the time, had a heyday with it. His name got dragged through the mud. And I'll be honest, even like, I would never publicly say anything because I don't know for sure. But in my head, I'm kind of like, man, if he got banned, Activision and Ricochet has said if someone gets banned, it's a for sure thing. And I'm like, damn, that's not a good look, man. Like I thought,
yeah,
I had a hard time believing it, but I thought maybe he really was cheating. But then, so what happened is I don't want to talk too much about like their name and stuff, but the developer of a cheat, one of the cheat makers, came out and said in a tweet that there is an exploit and they warned people about it, and they have an exploit where they can pose as Ricochet. They can set up a Ricochet server and they can dole out bans to legit players. Cheaters can give permanent bans to legit players. And this was from a cheat
it's cheating. It's cheating on a whole new level.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's to where, and this also came out. This is what's weird. Also, is around the same time, it also came out that there was an exploit in BattleEye that there was the same thing. People were able to get into BattleEye, make a fake server with the same address as a BattleEye server, and take control of it and ban people in video games, legit players with BattleEye. And that makes me almost wonder: is Ricochet just BattleEye, and they bought a license to it and call it Ricochet like that? My brain went there. I don't know. I can't confirm that. That's tinfoil hat crash, but it's kind of odd that they both had the same exploit at the same time. Since then, Call of Duty said Ricochet anti-cheat, this is their statement, identified and disabled a workaround to detection system in Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Warzone that impacted a small number of legitimate player accounts. We have restored all accounts that were impacted. An examination of our systems was conducted for safety and monitoring will continue. So they
This actually goes
actually
perfectly into like what's coming up for Black Ops 6.
they actually admitted it. And then Bobby Poff, the dude that got wrongfully banned, said a public apology would go a long way. He said, imagine having your name dragged through the mud for 2 weeks for something you never did and being offered zero explanation. And he said, oh wait, that was me the past 2 weeks. So he had to sit there 2 weeks just absolutely getting shit on by people thinking that he was cheating. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. I'm trying to find, do you have did you send me the cheat?
Yes. So I posted it in for the production team.
Yeah.
But basically the main part of it, because the first thing is like, oh yeah, you know, Ricochet will be in Black Ops 6, so yada yada yada. It's a kernel level anti-cheat. So on for this one. They're focused on, you know, banning cheaters and all that fun stuff. But the main thing was that they said that Activision has implemented new artificial intelligence based solutions to identify suspicious behavior. So these solutions are more efficient in detecting aimbots and other types of hacks that illegally alter gameplay. And like the thing that's like highlighted specifically that I have is based on the analysis of players' positioning and behavior, the system can recognize patterns that indicate cheating, allowing bans to occur automatically and quickly. This type of technology brings significant advances in real-time cheat detection, yada yada yada. They want to reduce cheaters. So I mean, I know we had that conversation with Any Brain, so it's like, I mean, artificial intelligence was going to be the next move in detecting cheaters. So it's looks like it's going to be there in Black Ops 6. Just question is, you know.
Yeah. So I'm really glad you brought this up.
It's still under Ricochet.
I'm really glad you brought this up because I actually watched an exclusive Ace video where he talked about this, and I found the original blog where they talked about it. And the stat was, so they brought in this AI stuff and they were kind of testing it out in the beta. And they said during the first weekend, cheaters were able to complete around 10 multiplayer matches during weekend 1 before being removed. They said after tweaking our systems and deploying new detection methods for weekend 2, we cut that time in half to 5 matches. That timing achieved our time to action goal. In fact, so their time to action goal is like how fast they want players who are cheating to be banned within an hour. Is their time to action goal. And they said, in fact, 25% of all weekend 2 bans happened during the first match a cheater ever played. So they didn't even finish one match, a quarter of them.
Interesting.
But removing someone after they cheat isn't perfect. So we are ramping up detections to try to stop even more cheaters before they load into a game. During the beta, we stopped over 12,000 confirmed cheating accounts before they ever saw the inside of a match. That's a pretty small number. How many people playing it, to be honest.
You know, but what was the main overall playtest number too? You know,
it had to be a ton, like billions.
But I'm also thinking, like, because you got that, and it's like, what if our false ban's gonna happen now because it's an AI behind the screen? Not, you know, I mean, unless they do AI, then someone comes in, and actually looks at the issues.
It's kind of weird to say that they're going to have AI that can do the full ban, because we talked with Any Brain. We did if you guys want to find that show, it was awesome. We talked to a developer of AI anti-cheat, Any Brain, and the Any Brain was to bring like a list of potential cheaters to light so the devs could look into it, right? Like Any Brain didn't ban people, it just gives them a list of these people are cheating. So what do you want to do with them? And they have to look into it and ban them themselves. So it's weird to see that like machine learning actually doing the ban. So what's happening on day one of Black Ops 6? They said an updated version of the kernel level driver will be there. All mitigations, including damage shield, disarm, splat, hallucination, others will be live. So those are ways they troll cheaters. Like they don't let them do any damage. They take away their guns or they make them die of fall damage. New machine learning behavioral systems focused on speed of detection. New machine learning detection models to analyze gameplay to combat aimbots. Upgrades when ranked play launches, which includes continuous examinations to determine if leaderboard placements are accurate. More on ranked play will be in the future. So that's good because in the past, you could look at the ranked play leaderboards and see obvious cheaters at the top of the leaderboards. So at least they'll look at that, I guess. And for Warzone specifically, they deployed new mitigations to interrupt cheaters. Stay tuned for a future report to learn about those new tricks. So it's like, I mean, I don't know, man. I bet it feels the same. Where, you know, when we play search, and we, you know, you probably play. We play like what, like 9 or 10 matches of search in a night, and you have a cheater in 1 or 2 games. Probably is what it feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know.
We'll believe it when we see it.
You don't know about closet cheaters and stuff, but like to see, it just doesn't make you feel good to have something so jacked up that there's a back door for cheaters to ban other players with your system. Like that feels like you're completely compromised pants down, man. Like that feels horrible that happened and admitted to it happening and they unbanned players. The other thing I heard from an Iceman Isaac video was that they unbanned a ton of accounts and some legit cheaters got unbanned. So
Damn.
that was
good.
That was sick. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole situation with Bobby's really messed up. So
That's wild that can even happen, man. Like,
yeah, it's really bad. That just goes. I don't know. I think we've all. It's obvious Ricochet is just a terrible anti-cheat system. So, and that's another example of it. So, I mean, I think the cheating has ruined Warzone and Call of Duty, just as we talked about like skill-based matchmaking and everything got sweaty. I think the cheating in Call of Duty went wild after Warzone. Those first like 8 months in, everything started getting crazy. And now we just see it throughout Call of Duty to the point where every time you get killed by anything suspicious, you're like, oh, that guy's cheating. So that just goes to show like how horrible their anti-cheat is, or where you can't tell if you're getting killed by a cheater or not 90% of the time. So it's just very untrustworthy.
I try to take like a bird's eye view of the situation and kind of look at both sides. I feel like Ricochet it doesn't feel like anything special. Like they have its own branding and they tout it as something special. I think it's like a generic okay anti-cheat. But I think as massive as COD is getting and as massive as a tournament scene is getting and streaming, so like you see a lot of like middling streamers that are trying to covertly cheat to be like really good at the game so their streaming career can take off. A lot of streamers get banned. And it's just like
more reasons to cheat. And it's
there's more reasons to cheat. And Call of Duty being so massive, there's so much money in it for cheat developers that I think it's one of the most attacked games out there, maybe next to Tarkov. So yeah, they could take some lessons from ABI. I heard Arena Breakout's anti-cheat's pretty good. I think Delta Forces will be too, because it's going to use a similar system. I know it wasn't in the playtest, but I know there was a lot of cheaters in the Delta Force playtest, but they weren't. I think they were collecting data. I don't think they were using all their stuff, so they can tighten it up for launch. I don't think they were updating anti-cheat. I think they were.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Which kind of makes sense.
Would be the least of the priority.
Yeah, because why update it and then the cheaters can update stuff for launch? So they're gonna. I think they're gonna nail them when the game launches.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, it's just a shitty cat and mouse game, and I don't think Ricochet is anything special. And I think Call of Duty is one of, if not the most targeted game out there for cheat devs. And that's just what happens. A lot of them get through because there's so many people trying to cheat. It's sad, but I've gotten to where like they don't bother me anymore, because that's what I feel like that's what they want. is a lot of people cheat to troll and tilt people, and I don't let them do it. Like I just am like, oh, I'll just leave the game. Like I don't. You can go cheat by yourself. I'm not gonna play you. I'm not gonna be bothered by it. I'm gonna move on. You're a sad human.
Yeah, I think it's definitely with multiplayer like SND. It's easier. Warzone it like completely ruins your match. You know, playing the long,
Yeah,
especially
if you
like
make
a big map game. Like you know, you're really just screws everything up. That's where I think it's even worse.
Yep. So no, I think that's all I had. If you want to table Star Citizen to another time, since we're getting kind of late. Blue, are you there?
I can't hear you guys.
Nice,
What?
Nice.
You can't.
Hold on. Hold on.
What happened? Guys, we lost him. You can hear me, right, Buff?
Yeah.
What's
I
he
see you
doing?
waving. I see your mouse moving. Hang on.
I wonder if he unplugged us because he hates us.
Probably.
He might have just like.
We're good. We're good.
Dude, I thought you were just zoned out, bro. I thought you were just like.
No, I was like, why'd it go quiet? And I was like, okay, is Crash working on something or something like that? And I see you do this.
We're like right, Blue, and you're just like. I was like, I thought you froze. I was like, oh shit.
No. I think I needed a new cable.
Yeah, no, he was saying you wanted to table Star Citizen for next time, so we have more.
Oh yeah, like I said earlier, yeah, let's just
okay.
Let's just table it. We got.
We're getting kind of late.
The Black Ops was too much. Yeah, I gotta go walk with the fam.
All right. Nice. Yep. Sounds good. We all got family stuff going on, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That's a show. Next week will be an awesome show. We're gonna be able to talk about like the Black Ops 6 launch. I'm sure I'll have some S&D stories to talk about with that. Anything else that comes out and about, we might get some more Delta Force information as well. We always know that the Gray Zone night stuff is coming soon, so we might get some new information there. Lots of stuff going on. We'll cover it all on Monday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you want to support the show, leave us a 5-star review on the audio platforms. That helps a ton. Share the stream around. Be a friend. Tell a friend. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Later, guys.